Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe class Mudflap. And here he is in his alt mode, which is a Chevrolet Trax. And it's a pretty accurate looking Chevrolet Trax, at least accurate to the one seen in the movie. You see, unlike Skids, whose Chevrolet Beat alt mode was discontinued and replaced with the Chevy Spark, the Trax here is still being made and sold. You can go right now and buy yourself a Chevy Trax. The only thing is that the modern Trax don't look like this. Maybe in like the shape of the back, but the actual front of the vehicle doesn't look like this anymore. This specific design came from a I believe it was either a 2007 or 2009 concept, which is where this design came from. The Chevy Beat was also a concept that was also a concept, but the Trax here is still being sold, just it looks a lot different, which is a shame because I kind of like this front end with these two big old headlights. Makes it stand out from the front, like it's very unique looking, which is cool. And yeah, it's a pretty accurate alt mode. Very nice. Rolls quite well. And as you can see, he has a bit of some fire going out of his tailpipe. And that's because this is how you store... There we go. This is how you store his missile. This is a little black flame missile, which I'm going to put off to the side. It's really cool, but yeah, you can put it there. And like his brother's Skids, he does say something on his license plate, except here it says Trax. However, later versions change this, enlarge it, and change it so that it says Mudflap. So it seems like his Skids isn't the only one that gets like changes over time. The Mudflap here also got changes, though I think the only one was in the license plate as far as I'm aware. So yeah, it's a very neat looking car mode. Like I said, I actually would prefer if modern Traxxas kept this design because it looks it just looks unique. So yeah, on with a transformation. So first thing first, I believe you gotta go here. Separate there, separate there. Pull out the feet, pull out the feet. And actually, I think the feet are supposed to be inverted. Hold on. You pop them off really quick. Just know you shouldn't really be doing this, but I think his feet, and I remember reading somewhere that his feet came sort of reversed. And I think this is how they're supposed to look like. I'm pretty sure it's like the multiple toes are pointing in. So just, I guess, advice there. And these feet part just lift up, and that's pretty much it for his legs. And like I said, if you want more accuracy, you're gonna have to flip these around, because I think the double toes are supposed to be pointing in. All right, so now with the rest of them, because you can't really call this a transformer. I mean, if it was 1985, maybe you could have, but not today, or even back in 2009. So let's go. Fold these forward, like so. Fold this back. His transformation is actually pretty similar to Skids, but has quite a few differences. Next up, you separate the car door. Lift up this hood. And then for this part, you fold out his arms. Separate it like so, and just make sure you move this around for clearance. For this part, fold these the doors down and rotate this assembly. And then let me lift them up a smidge. There. Lift them up a smidge. And then you fold this down. Make sure you peg this here for Mudflap's head. And then for this part, fold the hood like so, like that. And then make sure you fold this at an angle to have it be like so. And now here comes a fairly tricky part, which it took me a while to figure out. Honestly, I had to look it up because I didn't see how this was done. But what you're supposed to do now is, let's see, line this up. This is all supposed to collapse together, but you need to have these door parts, point them up, and these bits are supposed to line up with this. So you collapse this, fold it down, and then make sure these are wide, and then push that in. And not only that, it means that this piece here, this piece is supposed to connect into there underneath this hole. So you see it. You know, widen this up a bit, push it in. And then, as you can see, it pegs. It's kind of hard to see, but it's supposed to peg in there. Essentially, if you have the bits like this, you're in a good spot. These doors you angle any way you want. Then you fold these pieces down. I guess for I don't know why, but the instructions say to do that, or I like to do that because I think it just keeps the tires in place. Then arms down, and he's done. And his feet, I think, are a little bit bigger, are a little bit better designed, so he can actually stand. Oh, make sure to fold these out. He actually stands quite better than Skids. I think because his feet are much wider. They have this extra width to him, and I think his backpack is more centered. I don't know. And there's Mudflap, and pretty cool figure. Similar to his brother, it's a very solid figure that's fairly accurate to his appearance, to his overall design in the movie. He too has a massive fist like his brother, except he has it on the opposite hand. And yeah, it also has a bit of a cool feature. Oh, one design which I don't understand why they did it this way. Why are these just sticking out? And there's no way to fold these to my knowledge. It's supposed to be out like this. That's just how it is. And it does kind of get in the way of articulation a little bit. But not too much, but it is kind of annoying. I just don't get why this is like this. You couldn't fold this back or something? Or maybe you can? No, it won't fit in here. Besides, this is the official way of transforming him with this out. So, yeah. So, yeah, this fist also serves a second function, kind of like the punch of kill everything that Skids have. For this one, his hand is articulated. So when you pull down on his knuckles, boom, it lifts up his cannon in which you put this missile in. So you put the missile in, like so, and there you go. So then you pull this trigger and it fires this missile. And and unfortunately there is no other way of storage unless you just want to put it like this. But there is no way of storing this outside of just having it in his hand. So I'm just gonna leave it in his hand like so for now. Now let's get on with articulation, starting with his head, which I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, this head, I am not loving it. I think like most people, it's just very sad. Two things come to mind with this sort of head sculpt. It's accurate, which is the messed up part. Is that one, he looks like his face is melting, which is very sad. And the other one, he just looks like a sad puppy. I don't know, I kept finding some jokes that he's like referred to as a basset hound, and I'm like, I kind of see it. His face looks like a sad puppy. I kind of just want to give this guy a hug. Yeah, I don't get why they designed his face like this. But you have to admit, that's nice. That's a lot amount of detail. They did a really good job on capturing the accuracy of it, of capturing his look. But yeah, it's like, I'm glad that it's accurate, but it's messed up that it is accurate. Because then I'm just questioning why they designed it that way. So yeah, the head is on a ball joint. Oh, and like Skids, his mecha-like feature is also that he just talks, but he can, for some reason, this one, See? This is how it's supposed to work. I don't know why on my skids it gets stuck, but it's supposed to emulate him talking, which is really cool. And I think Mudflap and skids are the only ones that do this. And I like it. You can like be playing with it. It's a nice little play feature, and you just have him talking. Really cool. And so we have his missile can, his missile gun on his left arm. And let's see, the wings are on ball joints, so the door wings you can sort of adjust, but I like them having flat, makes it look more even. I don't know, I just like the look there. I think they're supposed to be like up or something, but I like them down. Head is on a ball joint. Let's see, arms, with you move stuff around, you can go in, out, and all around. There's a swivel at the shoulder, double bend at the elbow, double bend at the elbow. And this big arm has a hinge at the thumb and on the knuckles. But the knuckles is more for transforming, for like pulling out the gun. So just be aware of that. And for this arm, it's the same, except the hand is on a swivel, so you have a little bit of a wrist action. So cool. The legs, no waist due to transformation, but the leg is on a ball joint. This one has a double bend at the knee. So nice. His legs are a lot more limber. And the feet are on two ball joints. One at the actual foot and... that's just... It has on a ball... His foot is on a ball joint. But his ankle does pivot due to transformation. But it has that extra hinge so you can give him in some dynamic poses. So he does have an ankle. Which is always a plus. I feel that the only major point of articulation he's missing is really a waist. But he doesn't really need it. So... yeah, that's Mudflap. Overall, he's a pretty solid figure. I guess my biggest complaint is that I don't like these pieces here just sticking out. I don't know why they designed it that way. It kind of it almost ruins what is otherwise a pretty solid figure. And yeah, talk. Yeah, and also the whole feet thing, I think, for accuracy. So yeah, let's go with size comparisons. We bring in Deluxe Ratchet and Cliff Jumper. Pretty good size. Not bad. A little bit squat, but he makes up in mass. So, and then as a surprise guest, let's bring in his brother, Skids. And as you can see, they look really nice together. Let's have them pose. I think Mudflap is a little bit taller, and he's also not as back heavy, mainly due to his wider feet. And I think, yeah, his backpack I think is more centered than this one, so it makes him a smidge more top heavy. This one, and yeah, they're pretty good. They look pretty cool together. And seeing this, and seeing the fact that they have big hands on opposite sides, it kind of leads me to a bit of a theory that maybe these two were supposed to be one Transformer. And I was reading somewhere that these two, apparently they share a spark, and that's why they're referred to as twins. And then the movie, they do combine together. They sort of transform into an ice cream truck. So, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe let's put Skids away. Oh, so you can do this. Just have them talk. As you can see, my Skid doesn't want to cooperate. Is it this? Yeah, he doesn't want to cooperate. I guess that time that Mudflap shot him in the face really did leave some lasting impressions. So let's put Skids on over here, put him on the side, and bring Mudflap back. So yeah, overall, Mudflap, pretty solid figure. And my quick theory about those two is that I feel that maybe they were originally supposed to be one Transformer, and maybe if they weren't so hated by the community, maybe they would have combined into one in like Dark of the Moon. But yeah, and on that, I'll say I'm gonna repeat myself on what I did with Skids, is that I actually I still like Mudflap and Skids. I never got into the hate. I honestly didn't see why these characters were so hated. They were harmless in my opinion. Like, and I get the whole, they're like stereotypes and whatnot. I kind of see them more as caricatures, kind of like a Street Fighter or Punch Out. Or those characters are just sort of exaggerations. And even Mudflap and Skids here aren't that bad. They're not. Yeah, like I kind of see where people are coming from, but I feel it's unnecessary. These guys were harmless. Hell, I think they had some pretty funny lines, like like how Mudflap accidentally shoots Skids in the face, or my favorite, which is when Skids beats up Mudflap. Mudflap says, "Hey, that hurt," and the Skid says, "Of course, it's supposed to hurt. It's an ass whooping." That's still pretty funny. And so yeah, I felt that Mudflap and Skids were, I think, a pretty decent execution of comic relief characters, where they kind of pop in, bring some levity to a scene after like maybe a dark situation, crack a joke or two, and then walk away, and then they're gone. Next scene, they weren't like so in your face as like let's say Jar Jar Binks in the Phantom Menace. I felt that in Phantom Menace, Jar Jar was way too much in the movie. They should have really like cut him out a bit because it was too in your face about it. But Mudflap and Skids, I think they were just right. Didn't hate them. Thought they were both enjoyable. And I was disappointed that apparently they died in the novelization by the hands of Sentinel Prime. It's kind of messed up. And I guess they were supposed to show up in Dark of the Moon, but they didn't. Well, they kind of do. I think you've seen their vehicle modes for like a couple scenes. But yeah, a bit of a shame. Kind of disappointed the fans just really didn't like these guys. I felt that the hate was unwarranted. These guys were harmless. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. Oh, just final thought, great figure. I think the figure's super solid. I like his twin. They both have their positives and negatives. I honestly recommend getting both of them. And I obviously recommend more this one over the Dark of the Moon one. The Dark of the Moon one is kind of not so good. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class, Mudflap. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.